Alright, what's up guys? Second timeout for the week, second race prep vid, just gonna run some laps, get used to the car. Then I'll start making some setup changes. Other thing, I'm in a public server now, so I'm gonna start to drive with other cars on track because I have a good baseline now that we got in the first race prep video. They can judge my lap times off of. Right now it's all about getting back up to speed. To be perfectly honest, I really don't even remember my braking points. Just gonna let the Beamer go. Pretty fast in this session. Interesting to see how much of a difference in speed I get right here. Worth about a half a tenth the draft, so it's kind of lining up with my thoughts yesterday of it not being a long enough straightaway to really get a good draft and make a pass that way, but still yet to be fully confirmed. Can't remember if I went up. Yeah, I did go up to 4th through there. That car is just so awkward before you get into that corner. Just the way it starts at track on that curve. Ideally, I'd like a lot more stable feel before I get into that corner because it's such a. You just have to. It's so precise.
He's moving. He's moving.
I'm over driving right now, trying to keep up with that Beamer.
Left side, clear, clear.
Yep, too much speed on entry. Started pushing out. I still want to put more rotation in the car. Still a little bit of understeer in the entry and middle of the corner. Things are getting crazy up here. This is a good opportunity to pass right here going inside. But this guy's trying to win the championship right now. He's not letting anybody by him. Let's see if these two wreck out right here.
Right side, in and out, quarter, clear.
What's up, Cash? Ooh, loose.
Right side.
Yeehaw!
Clear, clear, clear. left side. Clear, clear.
Too fast.
On your right, clear.
Yeah, gotta get away from those guys. That stuff's just a little too sloppy for me right now. I really don't want to be racing people like that right now. I was just burnt out on a spa. I had a lot going on that week work-wise too, so I just decided to kind of take the week off, do the one race prep video, and then just leave it. I've just raced spa so much that wasn't really looking forward to it enough to drive. I wasn't looking forward to it at all, I should say. But I'll be racing this week. I'll do the endurance and the whatever else I'm doing, sprint race. Alright, I'm gonna go up a little bit on the front brake bias. Just went up one click. Alright, what's up, cowboy? Yeesh, I'm not driving too good right now. Need to get a little more warmed up here. It's really a lot of the rotation I'm getting on entry and middle right now is coming from my brake bias. It's not coming from my setup. Like I go to turn into the corner and this is about the only corner car's got rotation in it that I'm happy with. The rest of the corners I have to like touch the brakes to get the car to rotate. I don't think that's ideal. Hey, what's up, Roberto? Couple thoughts that are going through my head is just a full-on spring change. Maybe just mess with the low-speed dampeners because it's really not too far off. That's probably better mess with the dampeners as opposed to the springs. But right now I'm not even up to speed yet. I want to be running like 21 2s, 21 1s constantly, and then I'll be up to speed. Pretty far off that right now.
Got one in the dirt coming back on. Slow car in front of you. Slow one in front of you. Keep coming.
Dude. So one thing I should mention. Okay, he said sorry. Gotta give him the no problem for saying sorry. But we are in a, this is a free track in iRacing, so this is one of the tracks you get every time you come into the service, or just when you start the service, so there's a lot more novice drivers, which is a good thing. I mean, the more drivers, the better. I almost wish every track was free, but then iRacing wouldn't be a very good service as far as making money, so it's good. It's just you put up with a little bit more Mickey Mouse stuff here just because people aren't quite as experienced in general. Alright, let's make an adjustment. I'm not sure, RB. That's on Twitch's side, I would think, and I actually increased my bit rate too. So if anything, you should be able to make it even a little bit better than yesterday. I don't know, maybe you keep refreshing, see if that helps. Alright, let's see. Okay, well that's kind of good. We have a pretty good amount of compression dampening up here. So I'm going to bring this down 2 clicks. And what I'm doing is I'm allowing the front end to drop at a faster rate. So when we're getting off the gas and we're getting on the brakes and the nose dives, it'll dive a little bit quicker, so it'll transfer that weight from the rear to the front just a little bit quicker. I also... So it affects the, you know, the rear to forward transfer weight, but it also affects the side to side transfer weight. So since this damper isn't putting up as much resistance and allowing this to drop quicker, the car also rolls faster. I'm going to do the same thing now with the low speed rebound dampening. I'm going to take that down 2 clicks. And it's exactly the opposite of the compression dampening. So instead of slowing the car down as the nose drops, I'm allowing the, actually what I do, I took dampening off this time. So let's say we get back on the gas, it allows that front end to raise a little bit quicker. That's not what I'm looking for. That's actually a bad side effect. What I'm looking for is the side to side weight transfer, because if I take more dampening out of the inside shock, it'll allow the, when it releases from compression, it'll allow the car to roll faster, so we'll get a little bit quicker turn in. That's what I'm trying to do. This forward to back is actually going against what I want to do, but I'm gonna see if the side to side weight transfer has more of an influence or is more positive than the negative sides of the front to rear transfer on the compression dampening. On the rebound dampening, not the compression dampening. On the compression dampening side of things, everything's going towards the direction I want it to. The nose is going to drop quicker, transfer more weight to the front, give me better turn-in, and it's also going to allow the car to roll just a little bit quicker, so it should have a little bit lighter feel on turn-in as well. In theory. I really need to start paying attention to my braking points. I'm just not doing that. Up here at the 2 board, nice and easy on the brakes. Oop. I should have a good setup going by the end of this session, hopefully, or a little bit, you know, pretty solid setup. I mean, the other one's already solid, but you know what I mean. So even that better, much better. Ooh, yeah, I like that turn-in. That was just too fast, broke too late, still had pretty good turn-in. Eventually, Roberto, I'm going to try the gurney wing setup you have. I just want to get the set pretty much finished and then start experimenting with the wing set part of it, you know? That is something I need to experiment with more, because that's the only way I really learn how things do things. Other than thinking about it, doing a little research on the internet, eventually you just have to adjust it and see how it affects the car. Ooh, yeah, that's a lot nicer through there. Yeah, just that curve just takes me for a ride at its mercy. Yeah, it took me a while to figure out dampers. High-speed dampeners is more of just intuition, but low-speed dampeners I can actually think about and know what I'm doing. But it took me a while to get my head wrapped around it, that's for sure. Because I used to think about everything exactly the opposite of the way I do now, and that kind of made things a little bit harder on me than they needed to be. So I got a lot of work to do on that corner as a driver. Timing's just way off. Really have a lot of work to do on this whole track as a driver. Alright, there is a push still going through there. Push going through. I might have to lower the tire pressures because it felt better on lower tire pressures. Had a better rotation in it. That does feel like it rotates better through the middle there than it did earlier. I'm probably just overdriving. It's kind of been the theme for this session. Just taken back. Oop, I just barely clipped that curb, but that was going to be a really nice corner. What I was saying just before I hit that curb is I'm just backing up my braking points a little bit more and being a little bit smoother. You can see I'm actually quicker now that I'm doing that. Except for that corner. Broke too soon. Yeah, the car is weird over that hill. More so than most cars I drive on this track. This really starts to get a mind of its own. It's starting to get a little bit closer to the lap times I'd like to be running. What problems what corner are you talking about? Oh, that was probably the best line I've taken through that corner. That's pretty good through there too. I think I'm putting too much wheel. I'm going in there a little bit too fast, putting a little bit too much wheel into it. On that initial left turn in when I drop into the corkscrew.
Front of you, front of you, front of you, front of you. Car off the track on the left. Keep going.
Turn 5. I really need to start putting a track map up with all the corners. So I'm guessing this is 1 and 2. Or is it just 1? Is this 2 or is this 3? Is this 4 or is this 5?
Very slow on the right. Keep going.
Talking about this corner. Is this turn 5? Is that the one before the GoPro or after this GoPro bridge? Let's see if I can get through this section a little bit better. Yep, no. Need to turn a little bit more in that.
Stay on course.
What I need to do is find like a tree or something to point at, and then I know once my core is pointed at it, I can just gun it. And then I'll have a good line going into the bottom half of the corkscrew. So I'll start doing that. It's always a good trick to use when you have to when you're going into a corner, you can't see the apex or something like that. Just use something in the distance as a reference point to aim your car. Yo! And that's what happens when you hit a pyramid. Okay. I don't know. Need more rotation in the car still. That's why that's why it's so hard for me to get right on apex, because you're just so afraid of hitting that thing, because you hit that thing, you are launching. Okay, might go with the tire pressure change. I'm going to go with tire pressure change. There's just an overall... Okay, so this is going to go from 141, 138, so that's -3, so I'll bring us to 186. So I'll just leave this alone, because I kind of want 186 to be the high point right now. And that went down 3, so I'll go 186. This will go down to 188. Then we do it one more. That's down 4, so now it goes down to 184. I'm going to leave it there and just see how that plays out. Yes, that corner. That corner is fine line of death. Alright, so now I'm just hoping this, because again, that first lap, the car felt like it had better grip. I know it has brand new tires, but I do almost feel it was more of a tire pressure thing, not just grip level thing. Because once a car gets up to once the tires get up to operating temps, they start to have a like skateboard feel to them. They feel more like urethane than they do rubber. So let's see what dropping the tire pressures does down for me. And lately I have been running much lower in the 180 range. Yeah, you gotta be really on your game to hit that corner right every time. Especially with the way this car behaves over the curb just before you get to it.
Front of you, he's rolling.
Alright, so I do have people right behind me, so I'm going to show you how I point at something. Just gonna wait for Alex to go by here. Okay. So we're coming into the corner. You can't see anything. I'm looking for something to point at. They'll give me the good line. I'm gonna be actually farther out, so I'm gonna point at that tree. Because I wasn't exactly on the racing line there, but there's like a gap in between two trees. There's a tree on the left. I'm gonna point at that tree on the left and see how that works for me.
Front of you, he's rolling.
That's my favorite corner on this track right now in this car. So there I pointed at the tree and it was pretty much right on line. That's what I meant by finding something to point at. And do one more click front brake bias. I think it's just getting a little too much rotation when I get on the brakes. It's probably the best I've ever got through there in this week. I think I've ever hit the rev limiter going into that corner. And find your tree, aim for it. Yep, rear end just got a little squirrely. Again, got to be really careful with the throttle over that corner. You get in trouble if you really try and manhandle it. Just kicked loose there when I got off the brakes. Yeah, there I was much more careful with the throttle and was able to get through there with a lot less drama.
Right side. Clear. Got one off the track in front of you.
So again, a lot of my rotation right there is coming from the brake pedal, and I don't really like that. I'm just getting more used to it now, but I don't like it. Just gonna run some more laps just to see if thing pops into my head. I am still thinking about doing adjustments just with the springs. Hey, Sprint King, how you doing, bud? I don't really like that my front tire pressures are higher than my rears. Go down one click with that, and because all this we've been going down on tire pressures, it also means our ride height's been going down the whole time too. So I'm gonna bring this, because this was around like 114 something and this was in the 71s. So I'm gonna bring that back up. And take her out again and see how she feels. This up one click. I'll go up one more click here. Or down one more click, which raises it one more click. Because what was happening before is just barely scraping when the tires got up to pressure, so I'm going to put it up just like probably about another 3/4 of a millimeter up, and hopefully it'll just, I'm sure it's still going to scrape in some spots, but I just want a little bit more clearance in the front. scrape that lap. See if it scrapes in a couple laps when the tires get up to pressure. Or optimum pressures. They're not optimum, just what they'll be maxing out at pressure-wise. Scraped again through there.
In front of you, he's rolling.
We got through there pretty good.
In front of you, in front of you, in front of you. Got one in the dirt coming back on.
Woohoo! Felt good through there. Best lap. That would have been my best lap. Alright. Went purple in 2 sectors there. Was my first out lap, but still felt pretty good. You talking about the JJ spotter pack? I really do like that spotter pack.
Slow car in front of you, see? Slow one in front of you. Drive through it.
Don't pull right back onto the racing line. Oh, he just got hit by the second car. See him bounce around my rearview mirror because he pulled right onto the racing line. That's a no-no. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson spotter pack's bomb. Alright, this session is getting popular. This is going to be some popular races this week, I'm guessing. The reason I restarted was because I hit so much stuff in the dirt that I probably did do damage to the car. So instead of just driving around with a very possibly damaged car, I decided to restart.
In front of you, in front of you, in front of you.
Right, I'm just going to start treating this like a race, and people hold me up on my fastest lap, so be it. I got to find a way to get around them. Because, I mean, honestly, if you're trying to hot lap and you're getting mad at people pulling in front of you, you shouldn't be in a public server. You should be testing. This is for people who want to practice racing with other cars on track and all that stuff. But at the same time, I do think it's a very nice courtesy if someone's not in your league. Just let them by, you know? There's no reason to race somebody super hard that's 2 seconds a lap faster, and neither of you learn anything, and you only piss the dude off behind you. But yeah, if you're within, you know, your lap times are within a second or so, then yeah, treat it like a race. But I mean, if someone's faster than me, I like to let them by and then just follow them. It's easier to learn where they're faster than you and all that fun stuff.
One on the right side. Clear, clear.
Good though, because you get practice racing on different lines, so you know exactly how fast you need to be going on the inside line to, you know, make the most of the corner, that kind of stuff. It's going to be important later on. It's nice to have that little information in your head. Probably get a chance to get both these guys here. I'm not going to go for that spot.
One on the right side. Still there.
Oh jeez.
Keep going. Clear.
I appreciate that green car. I wasn't going to try and get him on the top of the corkscrew, but he didn't because I was coming up so fast and kind of made a move like I was going to.
Keep coming.
Alright. A little warm up on our tires, some clear track. Yeah, I think he did. Not a trail braking right now. My car definitely has more speed in it than it did with my previous setup. More natural speed. And I think that's just primarily from the corners for not having to wait so long to get on the gas. I got through that pretty nice. I'd like to get through that like that every time if I could. I just got on the gas a little too early. Definitely turns better through there. Probably could still try and find some more, get some more oversteer in the car in the middle of the corner and entry.
What the fuck is your problem, man?
That was just me being stubborn, driving through the top of the corkscrew, not wanting to lift. I got on the gas too soon again. I'm on the perfect line, then I just want to get on the gas to try and get the most out of the corners. Just a little too soon. It causes the car to push, and then I get offline, mess up the corner.
He's moving.
I'm going to try and do a little bit longer run right now because I haven't really done a run longer than 6 laps yet. Let's see what the car is like after a couple more laps. Here, just take my time. Wait for the opportunity to pass him, brake a little bit sooner because I know he's going to be slower. So, no sense in trying to brake at your regular braking points and then just smash into the back of somebody. And been braking a lot earlier than my normal braking point, or I would have smashed into the back of him. Looks like I'll have a good run on him here. And we treat each other like gentlemen. Yay!
On your right. Still there. Car off the track on the left. Clear, clear, clear.
Just gonna stay behind him. No, I'm not. I was going to, but because things were kind of getting confused.
Clear, clear.
So to just make it easier for him, I was just gonna stay behind him. But then we got past on McLaren so fast that I had plenty of time to make the pass. So I just went for it in a very safe manner. This one a little less understeer through that second to last corner I just went through in the middle. Got back on the gas and just starts pushing. I want it to, yeehaw! I wanted to turn a little bit more. Just wait for it. Now I'll get on the gas, but I still have to do it gradually. Oh man, just love those little on-exit power slides you can do in this Porsche, even on the dirt. Like I was on the dirt there, never lifted, and still was able to do a pretty sweet power slide on exit. Broke too late. Let's see, do about 4 more laps. Make an adjustment. I think I'm going to adjust the bump stop gaps. Definitely the best I've got through there. That was a pretty optimal line. It's pretty much the same lap I ran my previous personal best on. Either 1 lap plus or minus this lap. Pretty sure it was my 5th lap, and that was my 6th lap, so 1 lap further and did a little bit better personal best lap time than V1.
He's moving.
That corner is pretty, that's something else, just the way the car rotates when I get on the throttle through that corner. It's completely different than pretty much every other corner. it just continues to rotate and it'll pull through that corner even when you think you're going in there too fast, and it'll just push out and understeer. Just car's really good sport through that corner. Two more laps. That last corner and this corner, I'm going for mid to late apexes. The shallower the apex you get, the worse off you'll be. The more the car will push and the harder it'll be to stay on track on exit. Again, you don't want an early apex there or you'll do stuff like that. Alright. It's pretty good, pretty good run. Car felt good. Felt the same through those laps. I'm sure that's only like a quarter of an actual run in a sprint race. Let's see how the tires are doing. I'll leave them there. I'll save this because it's definitely better as a whole than my previous set. Now it's time to do some experimenting. First, I'm seeing how much bump stop gap I can get rid of, which is a lot. Alright. Cancel that, yes. Ooh, okay. So, I'm going to take a pretty big swing at this. See if I can really notice. Because, again, these are one of those things I don't know a lot about. My intuition tells me the more, it'll hit the bump stop quicker, which means it'll transfer weight to the tire a little bit quicker. But I'm just not really sure if the car is actually hitting a bump stop, or if it's just moving the bump stop up, but we're still not hitting the bump stop. Because it says the shock deflection is 98 millimeters out of 123. And if I adjust this, whatever, it changes this number. It doesn't change this number. So the way I read this is shock deflection is 98 of 100. So that means we have 98 millimeters of shock deflection out of 217.2 total. I don't know, it seems so backwards to me. It seems like if I was going to adjust a bump stop gap, it'd adjust the actual shock deflection. So I guess what I'm wondering is, does it ever hit a bump stop? You know, because you bring this all the way down, and now we have a shock deflection of 97.9, which I'm reading, that's the full deflection of the shock, of 183.2 millimeters possible. I don't know, just the wording on this doesn't make sense to me. And this stuff really doesn't clear it up either. It's like shock absorber deflection out of maximum deflection. So that's the way I'm reading it. Shock absorber deflection. So this is all that the shock absorber is going to move. It's 98 millimeters. Out of maximum deflection possible. So it's telling me there's 183.2 millimeters of deflection possible, but we're only going to use 98, and it doesn't matter where I move this, we're always at 98, and we always still have more overhead, so. The wording to me is just not helpful at all. Or I'm just bad at reading. The bump stop gap changes the amount of shock damper travel before it engages the bump stop. No duh. The car suspension compresses into the bump stops while on the track. The stiffness of the bump stop. No duh. I get all that. I just don't understand these numbers, and it seems backwards to me. Like, I would think by moving this, we would be changing. Because my whole point is, like, why even have this adjustment here if that doesn't actually change the shock deflection? Because if the shock only deflects 98 out of a possible of 223, then we have 130 something millimeters of extra shock deflection that never gets used. No matter if, so yeah, basically I have no idea what's going on here. But if I'm just ignoring these numbers and just looking at this adjustment for what it is, in my head, if I'm making this number smaller, then the car's not gonna roll as much now, because it's gonna hit the bump stop gap sooner. So let's say our bump stop gap was here. We hit the bump stop gap beat there, but now I made the gap even smaller, so now there's only that much travel in the suspension compared to when it was down there. Which has this, in my head, has a similar effect to a roll bar, because you're not allowing the car to roll as much. I don't know. I'm just gonna see how this feels. It's definitely one of the more confusing adjustments to actually try and make sense of. If you just think about it normally, it's like, oh yeah, like the bump gap stops smaller. It's the bump stop sooner. Doesn't allow as much travel on suspension. Got it. And I look at the numbers and it doesn't correlate the way I'm seeing it, which just means I'm looking at it wrong and I don't understand it. But I'd like a little more help in understanding it from iRacing. So the reason I did this adjustment is because last week I forgot who it was, or no, 2 weeks ago at Phillip Island, somebody said, you know, adjust the bump stop gaps. I had messed with your setup. Made the bump stop gap smaller, and I felt like the car rotated more. And I made the same adjustment, and I felt the same thing. The car just had better rotation through the middle, better rotation all over.
Very slow on the left.
Hold on, I just saw what you guys started riding. Shock deflection, total amount of travel, the spring and the gap. You're just... I went to school for mechanical engineering, but I I've always been more mechanically minded than, let's say, literary minded or whatever. I was really good at block puzzles. Well, the shock deflection, the total amount of travel, the spring, and the gap you're adjusting. Basically, a bump stop is something to stop from destroying your spring or your shock. So, say this is your shock arm, and this is the part of the shock that, you know, this is the shock arm. This is the shiny silver part you see if it doesn't have a shroud over it. So when you're putting on a new bump stop, let's say we put it right there, and when you put the bump stop on there, now when the shock compresses, it hits and basically stops the travel of the shock. So you're not messing up all the internals of the shock. The stopping force is happening by this rubber bump stop. So the bump stop was right there. If we move the bump stop up higher, which would be creating more of a bump stop gap, now the shock can travel down more and you have more suspension travel now. But say we wanted to make the bump stop gap smaller, which is what I just did, now the shock can only travel that much because we're actually moving the physical rubber piece down farther on the shock. Alright. I mean, I understand like the concept. I don't understand how it helps me turn better, other than the fact that it's the one way I can understand that it's helping me turn better is that the car isn't sagging as much, so it's a much quicker transfer of force to the actual, from the tire to the road. You know, the tire's putting more force onto the road quicker because we're not going through a longer okay, so let's say this is the bottom of the tire, this is like our shock. Like if we had a bigger gap, then it's slowly pushing the tire down on the ground. If we have a shorter gap like just that, then it's transferring all the weight quicker, which gives that outside tire more bite. That's how it makes sense in my head. Don't know if that's completely right. Yeah, I'm probably, when I don't understand things completely, I'm probably not the best at explaining them. Because all a bump stop is something that stops your shock from traveling. It's just something to save the shock. So you're basically limiting how much that shock can move with the bump stop gap, or the whole suspension in general. So, bottom line is, if it makes my car turn better, I'm keeping it. So that's the other part of tuning, where you know, you understand some things, you can make adjustments based on your understanding. Other things you don't fully understand, you kind of got to you know, you kind of think got some kind of idea what's going on. Well, you adjust it and then see what it does to the car, because that's the way you really figure out what each adjustment does, is just by changing it. All right, will it make the car turn more? Did it make it turn worse? Did it make it feel more tight? Quick? Did it feel more slow and sluggish? Stuff like that. So ultimately you don't have to understand why things are doing what they are, but ultimately it is more helpful if you do, but you don't need to. You can just, it makes the tuning process a lot quicker if you understand what things do. You have to invest more time if you don't know what things do.
left side. Clear.
I think that's one of the reasons I like GT cars more than I do prototypes, Formula 1, stuff where it gets into aerodynamics, because I can understand the mechanical changes better than I can the aerodynamic changes. When you get into those higher level cars, I got a couple different aero things you can do.
Up, one off course, one off course. Keep going.
Rotation feels pretty doggone good. Feels better. Should have said better instead of doggone good. It's good. I don't know if it's doggone good yet though. Hey Alpha. Sloppy driving on my part. It's just driver error. Alright, see if I can put like 10 good laps in here. This setup. It's just because it's such a fine line, Danny. It's just I mean, you're an inch offline wide, you're gonna be pushing out, you're gonna have a hard time keeping on exit. You're an inch too far in off that racing line, you're gonna hit that red curb. Like that is such a fine line through that corner. It's definitely one of the more technical corners in racing, because it leads up to the Ray Hall straight, so you want to hit it really good, because that's one of the opportunities to pass or be passed. But it's just, I don't know, the only real recipe for that corner is just muscle memory. Just keep doing it, doing it, until you really have a good feel for it.
One on the right side. Clear.
No, I don't really have any time to do anything else in this. I barely have enough time to do this right now, so I'm just sticking with one car for the time being. And with the, you know, the new Pro Endurance series coming up, I'll probably just keep sticking with the Porsche for another season, so we can get in that. Although I don't quite have any teammates for it yet. Got a team, just don't know who's doing what yet, how many cars we're gonna drive. We haven't figured any of that stuff out yet. So right now we're starting to get enough interest in our team to do probably 2 different car entries. Got about 5 guys that have said they want to do it yet.
Stay right.
Oh jeez! What was that? That was just weird. Yeah, he turns a lot better through there now. Yeah, I'm sure Auntie will be in the McLaren. That's his baby. We'll probably, I don't know, maybe have a McLaren team and a rough team. Ideally, I'd like to have us all in the same car just to really helps with setups, you know, but it's hard to find everybody that likes the same car. I need to start paying attention. I'm driving sloppy. Car has like zero traction when I get over the crest of that hill, so I just tried to floor it. All it did was just spin the rear tires. Again, for like the 5th time, just really gotta control your throttle application over the top of the corkscrew. Thanks for answering that, Danny. Appreciate it. It got loose on entry and I just went with it, so I was kind of sliding through the middle of that corner. Still pushes, but it's better than it was before through there.
Be careful going through there.
No, too fast. Got it well down in time though. Yeah, I just turned in late. That's like, I probably turned in 5 feet too late, but I was completely offline. You know, that's just how technical that corner is. I completely destroyed that corner, the whole back straightaway, just because I was like, turned in like a fraction of a second too late. That's all it takes with that corner.
Coming.
I don't know. I'm starting to think imagining things with this front bump stop gap being better. I'm gonna put it back because I just put it back and I'm gonna run some more laps. So this is how you like check whether that adjustment actually did something for you, or if it's just all in your head and you think it did something for you. So I'm gonna go back to Laguna Seca. E2, now we're back up to 123.4 on the bump stop. Yep, see how this does. So I'm just not really too convinced that helped me. Just because the way it was acting in turn, I'll show you what turn, I think it's turn 4, turn 5, before the GoPro uphill section. It just didn't feel like it was turning quite as good as it was before through there. That's why I kind of feel like it wasn't helping with turning. Oh, run some more laps. The old setup, see how she does. It's time consuming, but if you really want to learn, this is what you have to do. You have to be honest with yourself and not just be like, oh yeah, I'm right. Gotta really figure things out. That was something I was thinking about doing, Danny, was lowering this front spring rate, so definitely still something I'm thinking about. Yeah, because I mean that had just as good turn in as before with the bump stop gaps being where they were. So it could have been a pseudo, that was probably a pseudo thing. Who knows, it could have even been worse, I just thought it was better. Because, I mean, honestly, to me it makes more sense to let the car roll a little bit more to transfer that weight than being, that's why I usually have softer roll bars to put more roll into the car, so it'll transfer the weight a little bit further, a little bit more weight transfer. Put more weight on that outside tire. Because just thinking about it, if you lower the bump stop gap, you're not allowing, so you make it so there's not as much travel in the suspension, then whatever the outside part of the car is not going to roll over as much as it was before. So if that front right, say we're going this corner, the front right rolls over, if it rolls over further, it's actually transferring more weight to that tire than it would if that right front wasn't allowed to compress as much, because it's not leveraging the weight of the other 3 tires onto that right front as much as it would as if you were able to have more travel in that part of the car. That to me makes more sense than decreasing the amount of travel. But again, it's all about a sweet spot. You can go too far and have too much roll into the car and then things start to get mushy, or you can have too little roll in the car and it's not transferring weight successfully enough. So it's all about finding that middle ground. Alright, I'll focus again. Yeesh. Again, like 2 inches too far inside, just butchers the car. that's another reason it's good reason to practice in public servers, because when you get up right behind somebody, it messes with you. Can't really see where you're turned into the corners like that. Gives you that practice of just looking at stuff on the side of the track to find your turn-in point, or just being more used to having a car in front of you, not being so reliant on just looking at the corner to turn in. This gets you more comfortable with the situation, you know what to do because you've been there before, kind of thing. This is a long video. An hour and a half already. Reason I think this is a driver error why I'm like 4/10 off my best right now. I don't think it has anything to do with the setup. See if I can get any kind of draft off him here. Just barely, but again, nothing to do anything with. Again, we'll get good practice going into the kink here, following somebody. Just looking for that 2. Can actually see the inside of the corner. You just can't see the brake markers or sneak up on you. So that's something you start counting down. You see the 3 and you know the 2 is coming soon. Yada yada yada.
On your right. You're clear him.
It's always nice to see teammates practicing together, making each other better. What's up, Zeke? How you doing, bud? That was a big power sled. Yeesh. I need to put more front brake bias again. Ooh. Pedals just got weird. Yeah, probably at the end of my rope here. I think I'm just gonna call it, because I know this V2 is pretty good. I'll look into those, Roberto. I'm burnt out. It's official. Was that front toe or rear toe too? Yep, I'll just leave it there. If you find it's too loose on entry on the brakes, just put up some more front brake bias and it'll stabilize it for you right now. But alright guys, till next time.